Hey guys, it's me, Pokemon Jabber HD, and today we have week 7 of MLP, where we are on quite the slide with a 3-game losing streak, so we definitely need to pick up a win today to really keep our chances for playoffs alive at this point. And we have a tough opponent this week in Callus Ray and his Richmond Umbreons. Our team is unchanged. It is Dangforce Landorus, Z Manaphy, Entei, Cobalion, Uxie, Z Venomoth, Sharpedo, Stunfisk, Drampa, Mega Diancie, and Tangela. Whereas my opponent this week has the Mega Gyarados, Z Shaman, Klefki, Mienshao, Electros, Flygon, Sigilif, Rhyperior, Z Moltres, Doublade, and Tauros. So I definitely, with this build, I've definitely felt like I needed something that could stop the setup in Gyarados and Flygon really efficiently, and as well I just needed some offense to just counteract any of these defensive mons and the slower mons, such as like the Blade, Rhyperior, and to an extent like Electros could be a mon that could come bulky against me. So I think that at least with this team, my main goal was to just not get set up and slept on, and then beyond that, just try to keep up some offensive pressure with the things that he has trouble switching into, since I generally just kind of don't have the space to bring enough switch-ins for all of his threats, for sure. So we will get into the first member, which is probably the most important member of this team this week, being my Tangela, which is Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb for the Shaman, which very much is strong against this team that I'm bringing, so I definitely needed that Sludge Bomb, and then Hidden Power Fire just kind of hits the Klefki and Doublade for just a little bit more damage, as I can leech seed on those as well. But yeah, this is the most important member because it stops Gyarados and Flygon hopefully from beating me, since at least with the investment I have here, it's able to take not get 2-hit KO'd by Adamant Ice Fang from Mega Gyarados, and then Adamant Outrage from Flygon, both at +1. So I was able to then just put the rest of what I wasn't using, the rest of the EVs that I didn't need in defense necessarily, to put in special defense to help check Shaman a little better. So a non-boosting damage item from Shaman, 2 air slashes should not kill me, so I can get damage off with Sludge Bomb and then switch out. So I think that this definitely makes sure I don't lose to the things that I see as really big threats against me, but then it is still weak, unfortunately, to the Moltres, which I am worried about at the same time. It's either gonna do, I think it's either gonna do really good or really bad against me in general, and so I'm definitely worried about it with my prep. Entei here, I almost brought special because he has the Rhyperior to switch into it, and the Gyarados, which then if I could get the Sun Up and Solar Beam things, then it would be really good. But special set just gets walled by Moltres, so I that kind of made me rethink it and think, hey, I can beat Moltres in other ways with other mons. So this one's Shucka Berry to take an EQ from either Flygon, Rhyperior, or an Earth Power from Shaman. That's the one that for sure is probably the preferred, just because then I can Sacred Fire and kill it. Stone Edge, like I said, hits the Moltres. E-Speed's just nice priority. And then Will-O-Wisp, so that if the Gyarados comes in on me, I can just for sure or 85% accuracy. What is it? Yeah, 85% of the time burn it instead of 50% with 95% hitting, then 50% from Sacred Fire. So definitely help with the Gyarados. or even just take a hit from Rhyperior if I need to for whatever reason. Just if I don't, because I don't really have like great switch-ins other than having to keep the Tangela healthy, since it's kind of a switch-in for everything type of situation. So otherwise, this just puts on offensive pressure, since the fire resists are the Moltres and the Rhyperior and the Mega Gyarados, so I can burn 2 of those. So that's, and then just stuns the other. Then next up we have Sharpedo, which last time I accidentally brought Rough Skin. I mean, it didn't matter in the battle, but I for sure speed boost this time, and since I keep bringing up the Moltres, the speed is to outspeed Moltres normally, so that if you bring the Scarf Moltres, I don't just lose if he clicks the correct move, because I'm not bringing Stealth Rocks, so that's definitely could be something that I could see happening, is just destroying me, so I can protect and then immediately be faster, and then otherwise it's just I'm faster than everything after a protect beyond Scarfed Shaman, Mienshao, and Tauros. So I think that special hits the team a little better than physical. I mean, no matter what, I was going to probably bring Water, Dark, Ice coverage, but I felt like special just hit the team harder, since he has more physically defensive mons like Rhyperior and Blade, and then the things that I'm going to use the ice moves on anyway just have pretty much the same defense on both sides, so didn't think it was too big of a deal. Then we have next up Manaphy with the Rendo Berry for Shaman. Then the almost usual set that I end up bringing is the Water, Grass, Ice coverage with Tail Glow. I thought about Scarf. I thought about maybe like Z Rain Dance, just so I could have something that for sure outspeeds the potential Scarf Moltres that I'm worried about, but a potential Scarf Mienshao would also be semi-problematic, so I figured that the bulk might be just more helpful in general. This is basically my only switch into Moltres, because I wouldn't really feel like switching in Diancie most of the time, so this and Entei are the only things that are potentially even going to switch in on it, but Flying Move is free to go for other than against my Diancie anyway, so I think that the bulkier set was more helpful. So this can either serve a defensive role or serve an offensive role depending on the what's brought. So it just kind of leaves me that flexibility to choose in that moment. And then, although I am risking speed tie with Shaman, Rendo Berry kind of protects me there. Whereas if I'm already +3, then Ice Beam should kill, or at least do a ton. Otherwise, yeah, Ice Beam is not going to kill, but it should get enough damage off to where I can revenge kill with other things, such as Landorus here, which actually he has no switch-ins for. Like Klefki with like Magnet Rise really is the only thing that doesn't get 2-hit KO'd, I guess. No, like looking at his team, Electros, like Assault Vest Electros is like the only other thing that doesn't get 2-hit KO'd by this mon, so hopefully Landorus just breaks open this game and takes good care of the fat stuff. Then lastly we have Diancie with Moonblast, Power Gem, or Power Calm Mind, pretty standard set. The speed tie with Tauros, which is the fastest mon on his team, so outspeeds everything naturally beyond other than the speed tie Tauros. And oh yeah, the Landorus was enough speed tie with Speed Shaman. Yeah, but this is just if I can get the opportunity to Calm Mind, I will. But I mean, most of the time these 3 attacks just do a lot of damage. So, like I said, the Klefki with Magnet Rise could come, but I don't think Klefki's necessarily that great against my team. If it's running just Prankster moves, and actually Sharpedo just walls it. So, if he's got to carry Fairy coverage for that, or and Steel coverage for Diancie, if he's worried about those things at all with Klefki. So, maybe Magnet Rise doesn't come, maybe it does, but either way, I think I can chip it down if need be, or just beat it with the things that just can hit it neutrally pretty hard, like Manaphy and Sharpedo. So yeah, like I said at the beginning, Moltres and the setup sweepers like Mega Gyarados and Flygon definitely scare me, and then Shaman, since it's Z, has that variable to it, and then I'm bringing like what, 3 things weak to grass, so Shaman's probably the biggest threat, but I think I can play around it depending on its set. I really have to find out what set it is, and so I will be right back with Team Preview. And we are back with Team Preview, and so Calistray has decided to bring the Shaman, Sigilif, Tauros, Rhyperior, Mienshao, and Doublade, and he immediately said, shit, and I put the question mark and like, don't worry about it, I prepared for something different. So immediately, I'm not sure if he's prepared for my team, or just like expected certain mons to come that didn't, like I have no idea, but that's definitely gonna be in the back of my mind as I'm battling, since that could mean that some of these sets are different than maybe I would expect for my team, so that's definitely gonna be something to think of, but still doesn't change overall that Tangela dominates this team. So if Tangela's around, I honestly have a switch into everything barring the Sigilif just in Tangela, so that's amazing. And so I think that this I want to lead off with my Landorus, because it takes lives in this, like it absolutely just destroys everything here. So I definitely would like to get a kill off the bat first, but I can also do some scout. And so I lead with the Lando, leads with Shaman. I'm gonna switch out to my Tangela just to make sure that this isn't Scarfed HP Ice, as he also switches so he's not Scarfed, and it looks, it's a great switch for me in that Rhyperior came in, and so I can just get a free Giga Drain off. It does a good amount to this Doublade, so I know it's not bulky, and he does go for the Autotomize, which, I don't know if I've ever even seen that before on it. So I just go for HP Fire, it does a good amount of damage, and then goes for Iron Head, doesn't really do anything. I go for another HP Fire, and so now it's just in range of a Giga Drain. But he actually pulls out a Destiny Bond, and that that got me. This was my most important mod, and it just eliminates it within 5 turns on a double down, and that just makes this really a lot more difficult. So I go into Lando as he goes into Mienshao. I don't think he can knock me out. He does knock off crit me, which is not great, as I go for the Earth Power, and now the worst part of that is now I didn't get the kill because of not having the Life Orb, so that's just good prep on his part in that it didn't kill. And so I'm assuming that a knockoff can't kill here, but he goes for reversal as with the Slackberry there too, so he's, I think that probably would have killed me either way, like I didn't calc it, but I just go into my Mufasa here and just E-speed, but he goes for Endure, so he is, the Endure set, trying to make sure he gets that reversal off, but I don't care about going for E-speed repeatedly because I just don't want him to have the +1 speed, because he's a lot less threatening without that. So I have to switch out into the Manaphy, as he does predict that correctly going into the Shaman, and so it's not time to reveal that Rindo yet, so he goes for Seed Flare. It misses, unfortunately for him, but now I can just go for Sacred Fire, since even though I know this is coming in, Rhyperior is coming in, but I get the burn, so now it's not as big of a deal. But since it's burned, I don't want to use the Shucka Berry against it, so I'm just going to go back into Manaphy again. He's going to go for Rocks, and now I'm going to go for Tail Glow just to see what he wants to do, because he could have Roar here, and that's no drawback to click it if he does. So I just want Tail Glow, because if I do Tail Glow and then Shaman comes in, then I kill the Shaman. But he does reveal the Roar, so gets me into the Sharpedo, which forces him to switch. So I'm going to go back into or not really forces him to switch, but I don't want to start speed boosting it because I don't know if I'm killing everything yet. So actually, yeah, I made the better play than what I was just about to say right now, and go into Manaphy. But this time, you know, I'm just gonna go for the safe surf because I don't want him clicking Roar, and he does go into the Shaman and then Seed Flare and activate my Rindo, so I can Ice Beam it into range of another Ice Beam. So he doesn't want to risk that speed tie. I'm totally willing to risk a speed tie because this doesn't do that much anyway if it's low, as he does go into the Mienshao, so I get rid of the Mienshao, which could have been a threat if he kept on bringing it in and out with the Regenerator. And then Tauros comes in. I'm, you know, no point in switching at here, and then I'm just going to go into my Entei to force him into the Rhyperior, as I can then double into my Sharpedo, and now I can just start speed boosting without having to protect immediately. So I can Hydro Pump here, and in case anything here is Scarf, which I know the Shaman's not, but if one of the other two come out, I can just protect immediately, as I will go for that protect here. Now that Tauros came in, he goes for Body Slam, so, you know, maybe he was Scarfed, I'm not sure, but unless he's got some bulk, Hydro Pump kills this, so Hydro Pump does, in fact, get the knockout. And now, you know, barring a Resist Berry or a Focus Sash, the game is over. And so I go for Dark Pulse here, as he is, in fact, the Sash on Sigilif here, and he goes for the Energy Ball and knocks me out. But now I can go into my Diancie. I know he's offensive Shaman, so I just win the game right here. Like, Moonblast should kill the Shaman from the range it's at, so I do take, thankfully, the 2-0 victory. This game was definitely very, very scary and up in the air. Again, at the beginning, I told you I don't know if he actually prepped for my team or just prepped for, you know, like different Mons on my team, but he definitely had some very creative sets that very much caught me off guard, and definitely had a good chance to win him the game, even though he, you know, something went wrong in prepping for this. So that's, you know, getting it to even a 2-0 was solid with that disadvantage of not prepping, you know, for the right stuff, you know. So definitely glad though we got the win. So now we're back at a winning record and, you know, still in the playoff hunt. So hopefully we can continue that with our next week. And thank you very much for watching this battle. Bye!